it is me and you, buddy. Yann at Busted Calcio Tweets. Myself, Vinny T. What are we going to be talking about today, Yann?
Well,
A week
Silvio,
later, about Silvio. A week later, the Maldini, Diaz leaving, the Champions League final, Mercato madness.
wasn't it beautiful, that final?
It was fantastic. It was
It's
fantastic.
a
And we're
bold
going to
take.
get into it. We're going to get into it. And on that note, let's put the intro video. And I know that the president is going to change our intro video. Guys, this is the format for TikTok. Because you could cut off, come si chiama? The borders, puts it
Nice.
on TikTok. We don't know anything about TikTok, but it
No,
is
I
what it
do
is.
not.
Hold on to your hats, people.
Welcome to the Milan Weekly Podcast, the English voice of Milan fans all over the world, with your hosts, Vinny T and Stevie P.
Benvenuti nella casa Giro in area, si gira, sinistro, rete, gol capolavoro di Olivier Giroud.
Mignon with another magical save.
Mamma mia, Teo Hernandez! Coast to coast del numero 19.
Leao carica il mancino. Eccolo qua, Rafa Leao.
Il Milan è campione d'Italia.
Cari amici sportivi, welcome you to another edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Here we talk everything Milan, rest in peace Silvio Milan, 1 week later, Maldini out to Milan. I got Yann here with me, Vinny T always here. Yann, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
You're doing good?
It's nicer weather. It's not as cold anymore, so I'm
Not
doing
as
good.
cold, not as cold. You know, we had...
Saturday passed. It was great.
What happened on Saturday?
It was the 3 of 3, the last Italian team to lose the final, and then the U20 lost the final. But I mean,
we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into that. And before we get into everybody's topics of the day, guys, let's take a moment. Let's take a moment and talk about. You know, this is a what's going on over here? What's going on? Yeah, and I want to take the time because this is a controversial kind of topic. Talking about Berlusconi passing away today, Il Presidente, the one that most of us here in our group page was the reason why we fell in love with our beloved Milan. And I know there's the other part of this story, but where do you stand today? Where some people needed to be vocal, right, about their hatred or Silvio this, Silvio that, but I think there's a time and place for this kind of stuff. And Silvio, 86 years old, what a career. Would it be in politics? Would it be at Milan, at Monza, even at Monza? Wow, what he was able to accomplish. But how about your thoughts of hearing that Presidente passed away today?
I'll try and choose my words carefully there. I was never.
No, it's
really
okay.
I was never really a big fan of the guy. I know that as a child, obviously, I didn't know who he was really. I just knew that he was the owner of my favorite team, and but as a kid, you don't really know everything that goes behind it. But at the same time, as you get older and you read a bit more and you see a bit more, he was definitely not a perfect human being. Far from it. He was hardworking, but again, he was a politician. How hardworking can you be? I still found it odd that he was still working at this age, that he still had to go for that desire to be in the public spotlight. He did great things for Milan. It was something that he had a passion for, and I think had he just stayed as the owner of a club and done his media mogul and all that other stuff, I think his legacy would have been a lot different. But as a politician and the amount of times he's been caught with corruption, young girls in his bed, and all this other stuff, it's a tainted legacy.
And I wanted to ask you about this because, in this day and age with the whole cancel culture,
it doesn't exist in Italy, Vinny, cancel culture.
But that's what I was trying to get is I'm not he did what he did. People might say, you know what, pedophile, young girls, lied to, took advantage of, but he got reelected after that kind of stuff. And I don't know if he was in the States. I'm always gonna remember Silvio with Obama and Michelle coming, and he shakes Obama's hand and looks at Michelle, he's like, hey, come and give me a hug. Berlusconism. I don't know the way they said in the Italian press. Like, they had a couple of his quotes there on sports media set. The founder of Mediaset, Berlusconi, a couple of different political parties. I think us as Milan fans, we never got. Then again, we're not Italian. We're not part of the Italian government or the way they vote on stuff, or these political parties. But how do you explain a guy like this, right? Forget with Milan, because guys, we could talk about the great years. Look at all these trophies he came up with. But we could talk about, is he one of the reasons that he put us in this situation? And I just find that today our criticism of him can be valid. But on a day like today, Morna's passing, he passed away. There's a time and place. Just like making fun of my Inter friends, there was a time and place. I don't want to make fun of them on Saturday, but in the end, any closing words on Presidente Berlusconi?
I mean, thank you for everything you did. F you for the way you sold this club for your own personal game, and you left us with a bunch of frauds, and you played it off as if you didn't know anything. But that's his MO. It was the same thing when he got accused of bribing people. It was the same when he got accused of paying women for sexual services and whatever. So he lived his life the way he did. I just don't like to glorify people like this. I appreciate what he did for my club, but it ends there for me. I have no other attachment to this man, and I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
And that's
the Champions Leagues.
And that's completely fine, right? It's completely fine to okay, rest in peace, but we have feelings about him. And it's like, some people wanted to go online and talk about to fuck him and whatever. Look,
no,
it's
not the time and place.
It's
give
not
it a few months. Give it
everybody's
a year.
entitled to their opinion, but it is what it is. I wonder what's going to happen with Monza right now. I'm sure he had in his will somehow, some way, but
I'd hope it's not Barbara running the shop, because that didn't work out very well. And his other son is Vagabondo. So I don't know. Maybe Galliani's. I had maybe a trust. Maybe they're going to sell it to somebody.
Remember that Barbara Casa Milan logo that we had with that circle with the black and the reds? Like, oh, God. Barbara, just stay home. Leave Monza.
You could have made so much money off her fuck toy over there, Pato, but she had to stop that transfer before he got broken. Poor guy.
Man. It is what it is. On that note, Yann, Saturday, Champions League final. I went over to Chicharo's. Yann, they covered anything that was black and red in that place. They covered our tables up. There were at least 100 of them. There was people at Cafe Victoria's. And everybody's like, oh my God. Wow, Vinny is here. I was wearing my Milan Club Dublin hoodie, Milan Club Montreal hat, my Milan lanyard. I'm like, here, I'm being subtle. I didn't show up with my red and the black. It was jam-packed. I will say this. I don't think it was my time and place to poke fun at my Inter friends. That comes with time. Just like our respectful friends, that would be Juventinis or Interistas. When we lost the 3-0, right? They didn't come at us the day of. It came with time.
It's a slow burn.
And it's a slow burn. The only thing I will say, and I'm going to repeat these words to you, which I said to my Inter friends, I think they would have been less disappointed losing 2-3-0 in this game, because they came into this game, hey, just like it, guys, let's be honest, even if we were in the finals, it would have been the same thing. Hope is all we have. It's Manchester City. And I said, whether it be Milan or Inter, this was the Man City to beat, because they were fucking horrible. And Yann, was Man City like so much greater than Inter? I didn't understand the whole not starting Lukaku, and the Interista guys are like, yeah, but we played like this all year. But I'm like, excuse me, if you're facing Manchester City, would you not want to field your best fucking team? Your thoughts on this game?
I mean, they didn't play Kyle Walker either on the side. KDB got injured pretty quickly. Poor guy. It's two World Cup, two Champions League finals in a row that he gets injured like within the first 40 minutes. I thought the pitch at the beginning was very slippery. A lot of guys were falling all over the place. I thought
in the first 10 minutes.
Both teams played kind of nervous. There was a lot of errant passes, a lot of erratic behavior, but also, look, Manchester City. So they didn't win 4-0. They won. There's no moral victories in holding a team to 0-0. There's no moral victories to holding Haaland to no goals. There's no moral victories to any of that. So this idea that, oh, wow, they played very well. Okay, well, hang your banner of you played very well in the Champions League final.
It's that whole discussion about, like,
you replay that final, Vinny,
but in the end,
you replay that final 10 times. This is the one time they only win 1-0. That's also possible too, right?
No, I agree with you. Awesome. And on this note, it was like, I just felt like I didn't see the Man City that I thought I was going to see. And I think Pep Guardiola said it the best. Rispetto, complimenta l'Inter, but this was our time. And I think it was their time. And, looking at the players that are coming up, now Inter was unlucky. Lukaku with the block shot, the final corner, the crossbars. In the end, it is what it is. Like they say, the ball is round, but I don't think I wasn't expecting a low-scoring game.
Are we going to look at the fact they played Porto, Benfica, and AC Milan to get to the final? I mean, there's so many different conversations we can have. It's easier to say, oh, but they did this, oh, but they did that. But at the end, they lost.
I'm going to ask you this, Yann. I think at about the 65th minute, I started wondering to myself, I don't think Milan fans are ready for an Inter win in this game. Because I started getting, I think, and we're going to get into the whole Maldini talk because I want to get your thoughts. I think a week removed, if Inter would have to win this game, I think that would have been like another nail on the coffin for Milan fans because I don't think we were ready for that loss. And you know what? You want to poke fun at Inter after the game, that's all fine. But I think it was more of a Milan fan going, oof.
Of course, it's a one-off. They could have won that game. Just like Juve could have won any of their Champions League finals. That would have been bad for any of the fans in Serie A, right? To hear them talk all summer. Just like if Roma would have won another European tie. It would have been bad for us all summer.
What were they wouldn't have been European champions.
They wouldn't have been European champions. They would have been Eastern Hemisphere champions.
Eastern Hemisphere. Thank you for reminding me.
So they would have been that.
And I wanted to get your thoughts because this conversation comes all the time. Look, I was there. We were sitting outside, and I had the Renato, the Milan fan that was part of the original club from 1987, 1988. I had a Juventino there with me. And the whole discussion about cheering for Italian teams. And I got home. My dad's a casual fan, Yann. And my dad's like, oh, they merited to win. I'm like, they didn't merit to win. He's like, oh, you Milanistas and Juventinis, you're all the same. You can't go for an Italian team. And I started explaining. I'm like, Pa, seriously, do you think, I go, this only happens in Italy. I go, I've asked my English friends. They told me I'm out of my fucking mind. I go, you think my friend Yann, I even mentioned you. I think my friend Yann, that's a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. You think he would cheer for the Canadians because they're in the Stanley Cup final? I go, you think the Oilers fans would root for the Flames?
No way.
This is the only thing. Now, I had a guy there, this older man. He's like, I don't watch calcio. I watch casually, so I'm gonna go for Inter because I don't follow. That I have no problem with.
That's okay.
Just the way me, Yann, I don't follow hockey. So if a Canadian team will make it into the finals, okay, I'm going to go for that team because I don't follow the sport. But why is this discussion always going into we have to cheer for the Italian teams? Now, I appreciated everybody's conversation with me at Chicharo's where it wasn't, well, you're stupid for thinking that way and vice versa. They believed I want to cheer for an Italian team. Got that. And I told them why I don't cheer for an Italian team. Just like the guy that the Lazialista Peter de Cames, like, you know, he's talking to me. He's like, he's trying to start a Lazio fan club in Montreal. He's like, oh, I'm going for Inter, for Italy. And I looked at him. If that team was Roma, what would you do? I'm like, no. You want to cheer for an Italian team? If Roma's there, you cheer for Roma. Well, that's different. I'm like, no, it's not fucking different.
Lazio and Inter, they're gemellati, you know, the fans,
okay.
they're both racist.
But what do you say to this conversation? I'm not debating. I'm not judging people that want to go that way. But for me, the red and black in my veins, I can't see myself. Now, if Roma plays like in the conference or Fiorentina, am I going to cheer? I didn't cheer them on. I would have been, okay, yeah, they won. But I'm not there like, yeah, Fiorentina, yeah, Roma. No. To me, c'è solo sempre il Milan. So,
what do you say when Paqueta made that pass, I was like, yeah, West Ham. Fuck you, Fiorentina. Pezzi merda. Always selling your players to Juventus. Fucking crepa. Fuck you.
So this conversation, sorry, I got some ice.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. You're playing the Mike Keenan, baby, on the bench.
You think this is a conversation that's going to go on for?
It's like everyone. I respect everyone's opinion on it. You can go for the Italian teams if you want to. You can tell them all to die if you want to as well. There's never going to be a perfect answer. Everyone's going to choose who they want to go for.
Why does this conversation only happen with Italian fans? I spoke to the guys from the Chelsea club, and I'm like, if Liverpool, he's like, where do you come up with this kind of stuff? And what I
don't watch baseball, but like, if you're a Mets fan and the Yankees are in the final, you're going to go for the Yankees in the World Series.
So why isn't this only a conversation for Serie A fans? I don't get it.
I think we're just it's always been like this. So it hasn't been. It's not because like Serie A is like dog shit and like we have to like try and support the clubs. It's always been that thing, and I think more so against English teams, the Italians just don't like the English, you know. And after beating them in the Euro, and then all the times we beat them in these other meaningless sports like Pallanuoto or whatever. People say like, oh, you know, we have to go against the English, and I get that. My father lives in Italy, and a lot of them, even the Napoletani, they're all in this Pie-IX. They're all going for them because they don't like the English. But okay, I mean that's fine. But it's also fine if I just want my rival not to win a cup. It's a big thing.
I wasn't cheering for Man City. I wasn't cheering for
Man City. I celebrated when Rodrigo scored that goal. I screamed out. I'm like, fucking finally, yes, thank you. And when Ederson made those saves, were more so that they shot the ball at him, I was happy. It was funny because Lukaku over there, he just didn't pull it off. I felt bad for DiMarco. Had a really good game, regardless of what he sang and all that stuff. I don't care about that ultra stuff. It's fine. He had a really good game. I thought overall Onana played amazing.
What is that picture awesome of Hakan looking back and
he was terrible all game. And that's the thing about this guy.
Was he really declared Serie A player of the season? Was that some sort of fucking...
that's one of those web sofa score. It's like the ones that give the ratings like the Gazzetta dello Sport. And,
okay.
Whatever. Look, Inter fans, be proud of your team. You know, the ones that I like.
Yes.
Nima, Gianmarco, you guys, be proud of your team. You guys did an amazing thing. You still have a good team. The fact you made it that far with Darmian and Mkhitaryan on your roster, kudos to you guys. You guys deserve it. But I'm happy that you lost. And I think you would do the same to me. I think at the end of the day, you would turn around and say, if Milan managed to not shit the bed those two games and beat you guys, you would have been like, I'm happy that you lost, but hey, you good for you guys.
You guys, there's been some awful stuff on Twitter from Milan fans towards Inter. No. Let's not kid ourselves. Inter fans would have done the same thing to Milan. It's all fun and games.
It's all fun and games.
It's all fun and games, and it's all
But
good.
Be proud of your team. Support them again. I'm happy for you guys to have lived that. It's very nice for you guys. But I'm also happy you lost.
On that note, we spoke about Champions League. Let's... Yann, I wanted to get your thoughts, and I know we had over 1,000 views last week, some controversial comments, a lot of people bashing us in the comments itself, and I wanted to, what has gone through my mind this week was, I think it's a sort of a defense mechanism that I've built in, where this kind of news is where, it's okay to, it's okay to be mad at the decision. It's okay to be pissed off at how they handled the decision. And it's still okay to let's move on.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with thinking this way here. And I keep on thinking back of every single week Steve and I have spoken. And how many times have we said this? Guys, l'era delle bandiere è finita, right? This is a business and get used to it. So I'm just trying to say is that I'm not validating what they did to Maldini. I think the comment, the press release was horrible.
Yeah.
I find that the way they handled the situation was horrible.
Yeah.
But I could still be in the middle where it's like, okay. And the thumbnail said, your move, Jerry. You wanted to do this? Right? Okay. And Curva Sud even came out and people said, oh, Curva Sud, they don't care about Maldini. They don't care about...
Well, they whistled him on his last game, let's be honest.
Not all Curva Sud, I think.
Not all, but there were some of them there.
So, I know there's a track record of ruining legends. This one hurt because, he didn't come on to the project for how many years. And I'm just trying to tell everybody there is a middle ground. I don't have to be, no, fuck Maldini. We needed to get rid of him. Or
you did. Look,
what are your thoughts? A week later.
But look, we'll get back to the owner first off. We just spoke about a guy that passed away who used our club for political gain, who used our club for showing off and being in the spotlight and all that stuff. We had no problems with that, right? Because we won stuff. A new owner bought a team. There was a management team in place. If this guy's name was not Maldini, looking at how the team performed, got into Champions League because of a penalty to Juventus, disgustingly bad mercato. If this guy's name was Massara, or let's say Mirabelli, would anybody be shocked that he got not renewed at the end of the season? Because the guy wasn't the guy that the owner appointed, right? It's kind of like in North American sports. New GM comes in, lets the team play with whoever was already appointed. At the end of the year, it didn't work out. Let's fire everybody. I'm going to bring in my own guys. So from that point of view, I think it's normal what happened. How it happened, Vinny, was disgraceful.
It's disgraceful.
You don't treat a guy like that.
I take Stevie P's words. Yann, this conversation would whose dick is bigger? That's what it sounds like. That's what it seems to be like. And I'm not sure about this rumor that they offered him another position. I don't believe that for 1 second. To me, I'm just saying it's okay to be mad at how they handled it, and you could still be okay where, okay, show me what you're gonna do now. Because we said it last week, if somehow, some way, Milan wins a Scudetto and they make it to another semifinal Champions League, who's going to be talking about Maldini in a year from now? How many legends have we ruined? Guys, we fired Seedorf on a winning streak. Like, I'm not putting Seedorf on the same level of Maldini by all means, but I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's this defense mechanism. I don't know if it's me going back to, guys, this is a business. I think the Donnarumma loss hit me hard.
But he recovered by getting Mike Mania. He didn't recover by getting anyone for Kessie. If it had to come down to something, what was it? The Mercato? Was it the Mercato? Was it? I don't think that if you look at all the precedents, right? So let's say letting Donnarumma leave on a free, Kessie leave on a free. Your signings that you did this year all sucked the shit. Leaving on a free. I don't think that is the reason that they let him go. I think honestly is that he wants to give me money now. I need to win now. Where Cardinale and the Redbirds is like, no, we still got 2-3 years and we're gonna do what we gotta do. Again, I think he wanted to go into the Marotta way, let me inflate some salaries, let me get some guys on a free transfer, and I think due diligence prevailed here because we don't have the team that's ready for these free transfer guys. I'm sorry, we're not there.
I wanna comment on this about not being able to use Maldini as a lure, but because Milan refuses to pay players. What's the lure now, Pioli? I'm gonna look.
I mean,
I want to say this.
What
I want to say this.
honestly though, how do you know that? How do we know
Like
that's the allure?
Yann, I had one guy at Chacharo's. He's like, "Oh, look at this Milan. I'm gonna turn my back." I looked at him like, "Are you fucking stupid?"
Are you fucking stupid?
I'm like, "Yeah, but look at all these players." I'm like, "Okay, so you're gonna sit here and make me believe that these players, professional players, with professional agents, the only reason that they signed was because of Maldini. I'm sure he was a factor,
So
but
then
if the
that's
only
the
reason,
factor, why didn't Donnarumma, Hakan, and Kessie stay?
I'm just saying, I'm like, if these players signed just because of Maldini, those are not smart business decisions.
Those are not players I want.
If you're
I'm not
telling me that Leao signed at a lower fee because it's Maldini, tell me that he trusts in Maldini, but you're working for a company, you're working for a team. Guys,
think he
again,
took
it
less
hurts
money
me that
to let
Maldini
them
left.
spend money elsewhere. You didn't take less money because of Maldini. You took less money because they can spend money elsewhere and re-sign a few of his friends, a la Boston Bruins here.
Yeah, Kirsten, like,
Come on, guys. Like,
players did that directly.
Franco Baresi is still there. He's not a bandiera. If Baresi comes to talk to me, you don't know who he is. Are we serious over here? You're telling me that Milan's not going to call in Shevchenko to go talk to players? But come on. It's like it's all overblown here about Maldini leaving. Maldini held out until the project was right for him. Is that really a bandiera? Baresi's been there the whole time, through thick and thin, with all the shit. Massaro as well. So he cherry-picked when it was the right time to come in. Didn't want to be there, second fiddle to this, second fiddle to that. Scaroni made a very interesting comment. I don't know if it's a bad translation, but we're looking for teamwork. I don't care if Maldini was my favorite player. I don't care if Maldini won all these Champions Leagues. Doesn't mean he's a team player in the boardroom. Doesn't mean that he's thinking about anyone but himself in the boardroom either. We have to separate his last name from who he is. He had a shit mercato. We almost missed Champions League. We should have missed Champions League if it wasn't for Juventus being caught and punished. What would have happened there? Would you want to keep your legend around? Where his biggest signing was CDK, and then he signed some losers like Messias to another extension, Florenzi to another extension. Didn't get us a striker. Never got us a right wing. You're going to blame Pioli on that?
So
Pioli's not perfect by any means. But come on, guys. He was not good this year.
I think us true Milanistas, what we have a problem with is not the firing, is how they handle
how it was done. And I have a problem with that too. I think that was very disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like, imagine we were in the Champions League final and that came out. I think they waited to let it go. So does that mean he was gone when Ibra was doing his goodbye? If Ibra wants to stay after and come in and replace Maldini as this faccia di Milan, that he's a bit younger and people know who he is, you might get some guys to come sign here.
In the end,
I don't think it all ends with Maldini. That's my issue, and I think they can save face by naming the new stadium after the family. That would be something. Because you can't spell Milan without Maldini, and that would be a nice way for Jerry to save face. That would be his move. Would he show up to accept it? I don't think so. And it would be a lot smarter than naming it after the pedophile. So I think Maldini would be a perfect choice for the team's new stadium, because that family really was that team, right?
That is the
decades.
Yeah.
And it could be a way to iron off, to make amends with the fans. But these ideas that we're not going to be able to sign players, not going to be able to do this. We're the guy that found the players, guys. He's still there.
Moncada is still there, right?
Still there. And some of the guys that he had proposed, we didn't sign, and they're doing well. So, alla fine giornata, guys, life goes on. The team is all there. Our players are there. It's unfortunate how it happened, but I'm done. He said this. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's that. Guys, we don't know anything. The guy owns a team.
You think we're ever going to get the truth out of the situation?
But if a guy invested all that money, or invested all of a hedge fund's money, I think he has the right to choose the people he wants to put in place, no? Or are we that egoistic as a fan base? Exactly. If he makes a mistake, it's his own money, not ours.
And if he makes a mistake, we'll criticize him at that point there.
Definitely. But if I'm a fan of a club, I'm not happy with it. But let's see how it goes. It doesn't make sense to me either.
No, it doesn't.
But then when I think about it, I'm like, man, if Juve gets these points back throughout the year, the summer, we're in Europa League, guys. Do you think Leao signed up to play in Europa League? I think that'd be a bigger move for him to leave the club than Maldini not being.
So let's put this in perspective. Let's just say Maldini is having a great relationship, because guys, let's not forget, last year didn't renew him until 2 days, before.
It almost went, last year.
The comments he's made, and I tip my hat off to Maldini for speaking his mind. I tip,
But
because
it was not the right place. He also went into the media and
we said it, Steve and I, it was not the right place, even though we agree with him, right? Stirring the pot. But Yann, let me ask you this. Let's just say everything is going well. CDK is having somewhat of a mid-season, and we still finish 5th in Europa League. Who pays the price? Pioli?
It's usually management that pays the price in these things. Yeah, Pioli could also pay the price. I think the fact that they squeaked into Champions League saved them. The fact that I think it seems like, despite what a lot of people like to theorize, that he doesn't like young players, it seems like the young guys like Pioli. Now, is he the end-all and be-all? No. I hope one day we go to a Klopp type of coach or something. But he's a perfect transition coach, and I think he's been able to unify this team, which other people didn't. Now, I mean,
look, they said
we'll find
our
out.
objectives are the same. We'll see. Because
the objectives are what? Top 4 and a deep run in Champions League. That's going to be our objective.
So we'll see, because if you fail, you don't have a second chance to a first impression. If you fail, you're fucked, because now we're going to come out strong. And you know what? I'm gonna go with La Curva Sur on this one, where they did not bash Maldini.
No,
they
there's
thanked
nothing to bash
him,
the guy for.
But today it goes, alla fine, uno salto in quality. That's what we want. We want to jump in quality. That's all we want.
Is it coincidental that all of a sudden Maldini's not there and we're looking at a right wing from Villarreal? I don't know. Is it a coincidence? Did he really think that his buddies, Macias and Salamakers, were enough for Pioli? Because it seems that there was, because he never went to go look for one. So it seems like he had a bad eye for something, a right wing. Maybe because he played left back, but I don't know.
It is always. We have July 1st is our first preseason game, I believe.
Yeah,
I think so.
It's already starting. This is too much. I like what Pep Guardiola said at the end. It's too many games, man. Too many freaking games. Stop with these games. Let these guys relax, man. Yeah. It's not Milan Labs that's making everyone break, guys. It's the fact that they're playing on potato fields all over Europe and then North America, and then they come back and then they play, and then there's international break.
Speaking of potato fields.
Yes.
Guys, Calcio is back. Look at all these Italian teams in the finals, and look at the U20 in the finals. And Stevie P had to say it, is like, but guys, if we all lose, nobody's going to remember who made it to the finals. What an atrocious! Forget.
Well, they will.
The under 20.
It's the first time one country has been had 3 teams in the 3 finals and lost all 3. So they will remember it.
The under 20. Wow, what a great ride to the finals, and it's like not a shot on target, dude. Not a shot on goal.
We got rid of that goalie too. That was our goalie. The Planche. He's gone to Venezia, I think.
But that was a potato field that was.
Yeah, but the Uruguayan guys, they just look like men, and we look like boys. And I think, good for those kids. They went far. I think they went further than they should have. Still not the surprise of the tournament. For me, it's Israel. Oh my God, good for them. Finished 3rd place. Who would have thought that? Honestly.
Good for them.
But
do you think it's a good? Do you think of it as a good sign? Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think of it as a good... Italian soccer has been on the down low for the last 10 years. Do you think of this as a good sign? The finalists of every European Cup and a finalist in the U20 World Cup.
Well,
do you think this is a positive or...
Inter is one of the oldest teams in Serie A. So is that really good for Italy going forward? No, it's not. Fiorentina, they're going to sell any of their prospects to Juventus, so it's not good for Italian soccer. Roma is on the up. I don't like it. I don't like them. But Roma, if Mourinho stays, they signed the Algerian kid that's already learning how to speak Italian. They have a nice project over there at Roma. They need a better goaltender and a bit better defense, but they have a good project. I think they're more of an indicative sign of where Italian soccer is going. But the under 20, like the top scorer plays for Chelsea, right? Gnotto plays for Leeds or whatever team.
Maybe he's gonna come
I
back.
mean,
to
it's
that.
hilarious that our under-20s have to go to England to play or to get developed, and over here,
Thank
the
you.
team that makes the Champions League final has Dzeko and Mkhitaryan and Darmian and all these other Vecchietti starting. And if it wasn't for Andanovic with some blunders, I don't know when Onana was going to get some starts. Let's be honest. If Andanovic didn't play as bad as he did at the beginning of the year, he might have been in that final. So Milan doesn't have many Italians starting either. Juventus, they have.
No, yeah.
Could we go over that? Best under 23, Fagioli, MVP of the league, the Georgian kid. He's 22. If you're the MVP of the league, how could you not be the best under 23 player at the same time? They did the same thing to Leao last year. Who does these awards for them?
So Fagioli is a what is he? Best of how about
Under 23?
under 23? So who's the other one? Who's the one? Miretti is the one, right? The one.
He is the one. He's just on another list that no one saw. But at the same time, the fact that Italy didn't make 2 World Cups is more concerning to me because they didn't make 2 World Cups in a row.
Yeah, the last time we won an elimination game was in 2006. Think about that. The last time we won an elimination game.
Now, we have all these kids in the under 20. Yet Mancini, the deficiente, is going over to get guys from 3rd Division soccer in South America. Okay, why couldn't you call up Casadei?
There's nothing to understand.
You're still calling up Donnarumma when he's been potato ass over there. You could have brought up Provedel.
Has he fucking aged, Donnarumma? Has he aged like 10 years in the last 2 years?
It must be the air quality in Paris. I heard it's not that good. He's tall, right? So he gets all the smog up there. Look, I don't know Italy, the problem with them, but I don't think this is indicative of anything. I think it's indicative of Uculoroto that they got these teams to the final, because even for the under 20, they should not have gone that far. Let's just be honest. They got a bit lucky there, and happy for those guys because it's good for their development. But is Mancini going to use them?
We'll see.
We're still going to go with Immobile. That's half broken this year. He's finished. We're still going to go with him, really.
Farewell to Brahim the Dream after almost 3 years going back to Real Madrid.
I already like the new management. That's too much money for him. Inconsistent. Go ride the bench in in Madrid.
What would have been your okay number, Yann, for Diaz?
Just another loan with no obligation to buy.
10 million, you wouldn't have bought him?
No, we have CDK. Come on, play the kid behind the punta. Let's go. Come on.
All right.
Or else, what was the point of buying? Like, why did you buy him instead of buying a right wing? You understand what I'm saying? Because it doesn't make sense. Brahim, happy for him. He did a lot for us. I really.
Yeah, thank you for.
I enjoyed many moments, but
Mr. Champions League.
We had a lot of frustrations with him too, eh?
Yes, we did.
So he's gonna go there, Madrid. It's gonna be Get ready. It's gonna be tough.
Like Ancelotti is waiting for him. He's gonna be part of his plan.
I hope so. Hey, look, I hope I'm wrong, and I hope he has a great time over there. But at the same time, what was it? 18 million they wanted. Then they wanted to try for 25. You're gonna waste your whole summer. No, I like what they did. Ciao. We're gonna see what we're doing now. Now, is Pioli saying CDK's out of the business? Whatever the case may be, guys. It was just, if we have a limited mercato at 50 million, I'm not going to spend 18 on a guy we know we're going to get out of him. Come on.
Lab Gorilla on Patreon says, so guys, I've had my week of rage. Maldini being let go in that way felt akin to losing a member of the family. I think that's how I make sense of the anger I felt. However, I have to move on. The test now is on the new team. Surely there's nothing we can actually do now except for hope that Pioli, Moncada, and Forlani, and of course the history of our club, can convince targets to come. There's no benefit in wasting energy against Cardinale any longer. I think we understand who he is now. Now the question, what would you set as a realistic target for the new management this season in terms of Champions League performance and Serie A finishing position?
Well,
top 4, you said?
Top 4. If we get serious reinforcements, top 2. But I want to ask the person who wrote that question, what significant targets did we attract? Now, I'm not talking about who Leao became. I'm not talking about who Tonali became or who Teo Hernandez became. They were a bunch of nobodies when we got them. So please explain to me, as if I ride the short bus, who exactly Maldini attracted or anybody attracted that was of notoriety?
It's a good point.
Nobody. And that's what we're going to keep doing, is making stars our own. Make them our own and make them feel at home. And that's why Mike Magnier is like, this is where I became a star. Theo, this is where I became a star. Leao, this is their team. We need to keep finding guys like that. Unfortunately, and I like Adley's like attitude. Maybe he's not the guy, but I like his attitude. Benacer too is a nobody, and he's become our guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tonali had a tough year, and he's our guy. So I don't see where we really attracted big names. It's going to be more of the same, guys. Get ready for some guy you're going to have to Google, watch a video on. Maybe Steve's going to have a hard time pronouncing his name, but we didn't attract any big names. Erling Haaland's not coming here, guys. With Maldini,
What do you mean he's
without
not
Maldini,
coming? Mbappe
Mbappe
is not coming?
is not
No.
going to come. Even if Maldini's here with Shevchenko and they're doing a 69 on the middle of the San Siro pitch, they're not going to attract anybody, guys. You have
Guys,
to understand. We
unless
are
you got
not
Saudi money.
that club. We're not that club anymore. No Italian team is. Look at Inter, oldest team. They attracted some free agents. They're geezers, man. Come on, let's be realistic. We're gonna spend 50 million, and I think we're gonna get some young studs.
Who might
We don't know
develop
what they're gonna
something.
do. What are they gonna do, man?
2 years ago, better diamonds in the rough, and last
Yeah.
year there was nothing other than the Chiao.
But maybe those guys from last year, if we don't give up on them, might be the Tonali of this year. You know what I mean? Tonali
Yeah.
wasn't great when we first got him. So I if they want to sell CDK,
But
it's not
don't
my
you know,
money, so go
Yann?
for it.
Maldini went to Tonali and told him, "Look, play like shit this year, so I
Yeah,
can negotiate."
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't you know about that rumor?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because every player that's a professional athlete that worked their whole life to get to that point is going to say, you know what, bro? I'm going to play like shit just for you. Just for you, I'm going to play like shit. No, guys, like these theories, it's like
It's entertaining.
It is entertaining. No, it is. It is entertaining.
Entertaining. Gio says, "Can somebody tell Jerry if you want a hood player on a free, he gonna have to go over his salary cap."
We're not looking at hood players for a
Here,
free, guys. We're not doing that.
We ain't getting.
We're not.
We're
We're
definitely
not
not.
signing any guy that's coming on a free from Leeds United, guys. It's not happening. It's just not gonna happen.
Let me finish off with one question. After what we've been through, the whole Maldini saga and everything,
Yeah.
what would be the one move, more on the selling? What would be that one sell that would really surprise you after everything we've been through?
Selling Daniel Maldini.
Okay.
Because then that would clear the whole Milan squad of any Maldini trace. So if that happens, then there's something really there's some bad taste in somebody's mouth.
I like that answer. I like
because he had a decent year at Spezia.
Yeah, he did.
Not saying he's a superstar. He's nowhere near his grandfather or his father's talent. He played well.
Back to Serie B now, Spezia, because Verona won.
So he's coming back from his loan. No, right? He was on a loan over there. So what happens now?
What's his natural position?
I don't know. Behind his father. Because that's where he's going to be, poor kid. He's going to be behind his dad for the rest of his life.
Guys.
But I think he plays a center attacking mid, center forward.
I think it is center attacking mid.
So he maybe can take Brahim's place. I'm okay with that. Let's do it.
Give CDK. I don't believe in any of these rumors.
I want to see Colombo come back. Colombo had a good year, man.
That would be
I want
nice.
to see him come back. But I also think give him another loan at Lecce. I think he feels something there. So, but I like Colombo. I like him.
We will see Origi and cash for Scamacca. Frank, Facebook
Frank.
Frank.
If Facebook Frank, if they would do that, I'll drive Origi over on a rickshaw. I'll do the thing. I'll go
on a rickshaw. I like Kramer
like
and Newman.
Giddy up.
Guys, thank you, Yann, for coming on. Look, we're going to have a show. I don't know when, but you're gathering up the best busted tweets of the year. I don't know if you saw Nico from Patreon. He showed us from One Football. Players with golden boot awards in each league. Who's got the most? The Saudi Arabian League. No, sorry, the MLS with 7, and
because it's Messi has 5 of them. No, or 6 of them. I mean, Messi 7.
And the clickbait. It's 5.
Does Messi have 8, and the rest of the MLS made him take away 1? How does it work? Did you see the other guy that was saying that the MLS is on the same level as La Liga because he watches Valladolid versus Getafe? But he's a journalist too. It's like, what are you on drugs, bro? Like, I have season tickets to the MLS. I love it. It's fun watching the impact, but come on, guys.
My friend Frank's like, hey Vinny, you want to come Saturday? I got tickets to the Club de Foot Montréal.
Not they went for 0, right? You
tickets are paid. The food and drinks are paid. No, it's okay. I'll see you next. Like, no, I'm not. I still have the impact.
You should go, Vinny. You should go. I'm an Impact fan. And no, it's
Club de Foot. But
they're doing well. That kid Bryce Duke, he's pretty good. The number 10 that we got from Philadelphia.
They still pissed me off from the time we tried to meet Pirlo and they gave us a run around. Fuck them. I'm not giving them.
Yeah, but that's Joey. That's just c'est plus trop sometimes. You know?
C'est plus trop, huh? C'est plus trop. Yeah. It is what it is. But Yann, thanks for joining me. We're gonna get a yearly busted tweet. You're gonna gather them up. We're gonna have a special show for that one. Please keep them coming at the Busted Calcio. Whether it be clickbait tweets or not, because there's a lot of good stuff out there. I know some people are sharing with you, sharing some good tweets.
The Inter meltdowns, like they told us that we're not rivals now and we can't make fun of them anymore. It's like, come on, guys, come on, it's all part of the game. Take the jokes.
What was that? What was that Striscione that the Curva Sud put Sassuolo, Istanbul? What?
Look, they might be jobless. They might be jobless. They might not have anything better to do, but god damn it, they're funny sometimes.
They are funny. And guys, it's all fun and games. And to my Inter friends, no, I did not make fun of them on the spot.
It's all fun and games until someone loses a Champions League final, and then it's just fucking hilarious. Okay.
But to Nima, I was gonna tell him, I was gonna send him my condolences, not for Inter, but for his countrymen, the Iron Sheik. Rest in peace, the Iron Sheik. Last week. So, you got the Iron Sheik on one side. You got Silvio on the other side. They're having bunga bunga parties in heaven.
For sure. There was a clip of Iron Sheik on Howard Stern.
Yeah, that's classic.
Oh, man.
He's the best.
I have to pull it out on air.
Fuck the Hulk Hogan. And on that note, guys, stay tuned. We're not sure where we're going to be airing coast to coast. Yann and I might be on soon some Patreon therapy sessions, because you guys know that even though it's the off season, there's always news to talk about.
Yeah. Especially in a few weeks, we're gonna have to do a pre. I know Stevie's busy, but Steve has to come on for a pre-Mercato Madness just to give us a breakdown. Hopefully, he can make it. Pre-recorded if he can.
Pre-recorded. He's gonna send us a video. Is this gonna
send us a video while kids are screaming? And then he's gonna go.
But you know that Steve is the Mister on the soccer team, and you know what, he manages the substitutions pretty well. You know, he does the whatchamacallit, Moritusari, goes on the
he uses the Popeye sticks.
The Popeye sticks.
The Popeye sticks.
Yeah, and any closing words? Let's leave everybody off on this one. Hope it was a great conversation for everybody. Thanks for all the live comments.
Closing words. Everyone's got to chill out. Maldini's gone. Yes, it's sad. Life goes on. Berlusconi left the earth now, but I mean, life goes on, guys. Remember,
let's judge.
It's just about this at the end of the day, not the names on the back, not the numbers they're wearing, not who's connected to who. Just support the club and enjoy the summer, guys.
And guys, remember, it's okay to be mad at how they handled it.
Of course.
And it's still okay to okay, show me what you got. And just like the thumbnail said, your move, Uncle Jerry.
Your move, Jerry.
Do what you gotta do. And on that note, ovunque e sempre.
Forza Milan.
Forza Milan, guys. Till next time.
Non ti lasci